Good morning. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, your boy got a new desk, and the desk has square edges, so I can now safely mount my all my gear on my desk. Oh no. Are we both
I have
on
the
mute?
wrong settings here.
Can y'all hear me? Oh boy, look at my I'm
I'm not on
pixelated
mute
mess.
anymore. Oh, look, see, that's what I was talking about. And now you're not. That's that pixel smearing thing I was talking
Wow.
about. Okay, I'm back. What I was saying is, thanks for joining us, everybody, for another stream of Orbit. I am Kurt. I have with me Blades. Blades, you've already said hey to the folks. Yes, but I'm glad that y'all can hear me. Thank you so much for letting me know. I've had some issues with Crisp AI, and I've decided to forego it. So I'm not using it anymore because most of the apps that I use have some sort of like gain and background noise canceling anyway. So see you later is essentially what we said. So yeah. So cool. I'm all discombobulated now. So I'm trying multiple new things. My audio is messed up. We normally use Skype for these calls for our video sources. We're trying out OBS Ninja. Too bad Robert Tables is not in chat because this came recommended by him. So if he does show up, he might be able to help me figure out how to fix that whole pixel smearing thing that we're going to get from time to time. So if Blades gets pixely, if he turns into 8-bit Blades, let me know so that I can bring back 64-bit Blades. I don't even know what bit that would be, but yeah. So definitely keep me posted. Glad that you can hear us now. Hopefully everything should be coming through, music as well. And yeah, we're excited to have you joining. Doug the Coder, thank you for that follow. I saw that creeping in there. Yeah, and we are glad that you have joined us. I found some really interesting things going on in the GraphQL community this week, and I'm excited to share them with y'all. But before we do that, we kind of like to start this off. It's kind of become like our thing, like where we talk about the weekend a little bit. So how was your weekend, Blaze? And everyone in chat, let us know. How was your weekend as well? Now I can't hear you. Hang on. What is happening? Now I've lost your audio. 1 second. Ooh, I don't know if this thing is going to make the cut. Try again? Yeah, you're not muted. And we could hear you 2 minutes ago. Oh, new scene. No, I didn't switch the scene yet. No, still no audio from you. Ugh. Okay, hang on. Let me check the audio settings. Yeah. All right. How about now? Nothing. Okay. He's going to be right back. So we're trying OBS Ninja now for the call. And as such, we are experiencing some audio and video technical difficulties. We were using Skype, like I said, but
my mic was off.
Yo, wild.
I'm sorry.
Nah,
yeah, I don't know why.
But what's neat is that when you joined, it just popped you right back in. That was something else I was wondering is it going to build a new URL each time? Like, was I going to have to come back and add you? But no, I don't. You just popped on in there. So that's good to know.
Yeah.
And now we're all good. You're talking, I'm talking, and we're all good. So I'll roll it back. How was your weekend?
My weekend was pretty good. Yeah, let's see. What did I do? I just watched the fights on Saturday night.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, when I woke up on Sunday, and
you slept
and
all
my
through Saturday?
I fell asleep at a regular time on Saturday. Woke up Sunday morning, and and realized that my side project, No Word, was like experiencing these fatal database connection errors out of the blue, and it was very, very strange. And so I had to like this was the first thing that I woke up to was like emails from people like, I can't, like, nothing works on the site, can't log in, can't load anything.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh well, yeah, this is how my Sunday begins. I pulled out my computer, like laptop in bed, hacking on this thing, and it turns out that in February, Heroku made a change that basically said that all database connections must use SSL, and they were slowly like implementing that constraint over the following month or so, and now it's finally bit me in the butt. And I don't remember ever getting like a notice from them about this, but yeah, I noticed it in there. I was reading their changelog, and that's it was right there.
There it goes. It was right in your face the whole time. Hey, secure your database connection. So how hard of a lift was that? Was that pretty simple to implement?
It was not too hard. I just luckily Postgres respects certain environment variables, running in whatever environment your Postgres instance is running. Yeah. So I could just set some environment variables in Heroku, and those will apply to my Postgres running in Heroku, because when I'm connecting to my local database, I don't want to run it in SSL, because I don't have my local database doesn't have an SSL certificate associated with it, nor does it need to. But
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Lesson learned. Cool. Yeah, lesson learned. I'm glad it worked out for you, and it's gotta stink being on call every day for something at times, but it's also very rewarding because it's like your own little baby, Of course,
I don't mind so much.
Yeah, right. Is it really on call if it's your baby? It's like saying, it's not babysitting when it's your own kids, right? You're just your kids. You're just with your kids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, Coffee Code. Good afternoon.
What's
good afternoon.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, y'all.
We're doing just fine.
Yeah, we're doing.
And how about you, Kurt? What did you get up to?
Oh, let's see. What did I do this weekend? I ordered a new dedicated streaming PC. What? Yeah. So
nice.
There we go. Hang on, I got to rainbow puke you. Hang on one sec. You've been rainbow puked. Yeah. So I did a lot of work about figuring out what that's going to look like, right? So I actually, Miro, let's take a second to talk about Miro if folks are not familiar. So it's really like this like online kind of whiteboarding type tool, I guess you might say. I mean, you could do a lot more with that, but one of the fun things you could do is like mind mapping. So I knew that I wanted to move to a dedicated streaming PC. This stream tends to do just fine because it's really not a lot other than us chit-chatting and sharing a couple websites and some links in chat. But I've noticed that on our Thursday streams, Launchpad, and I'm sure everyone else has noticed, sometimes my computer gets a little overworked and everything starts to bog down. We start experiencing issues, and it just happens. I am, it's a very high-powered MacBook Pro, but it's now at a year's worth of use and a year's worth of apps being installed and a year's worth of other things. And it's just like, it doesn't perform quite as well as it did on day one, I guess. Right. So we're starting to hit the limit of what we can get away with this thing. So I've ordered a dedicated streaming PC, but that opens an interesting door because I still want to do all of the work and most of everything from the MacBook Pro. So I was like trying to figure out how I'm going to do all of this, like get all this to work together. And then I just kind of realized like, well, the PC, is a streaming PC. And really all I need is like a capture card. I just have to capture the audio and video coming from my monitor into into the streaming PC like I would with my Switch or PlayStation, what I already do when I want to stream games. And so once I had that realization, it became a lot more simple to figure out like how to go about it. So I got the streaming PC. I ordered a capture card from Elgato and a KVM switch so that I can quickly bounce my Mac between the MacBook Pro, or bounce my peripherals between MacBook Pro and the Windows streaming PC. So the interesting thing here is that my keyboard, I have it set like for like Mac commands, so I don't know what that's going to do for Windows, but really I'm only going to be running OBS, so it shouldn't be too big of a deal. I'll mostly be clicking buttons. I won't need a ton of shortcuts, so we'll see. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. But yeah, I'm gonna have to like install OBS on there and get that set up, and then yeah, I will capture the video and audio from the MacBook Pro, feed it to that, and that should make the MacBook Pro work just fine with live share and a screen share and stuff like that, because it won't be under so much stress from OBS. The other thing I've done too is I switched the video encoding a while back to be MP4 in OBS. And I did that so that it would be easier to work with the videos afterwards, because MKV, when it exports by default, is not really usable by like a lot of programs by default, like Premiere Pro and stuff like that. So I have to convert them before I can work with them. So I was like, well, I'll just cut out that middle step and do MP4. But I'm also wondering if that was partly responsible, because I record these streams as we do them. I don't think the video encoder could keep up. So I'm curious to see what happens Thursday without the streaming PC. But now that I have the streaming PC, at least when that is set up, I will be able to do MP4 as the output, because the only thing it's going to be doing is encoding that and sending the stream. So I tested network connections and all that. That's definitely not the problem. It is 100%. I ran OBS and did some tests, and it spikes up using like basically 100% of my CPU. I don't even think the issue is actually Skype. I just think Skype wasn't getting enough CPU. But I'm also eliminating that from the equation, because it was the second highest usage of CPU. And I'm running tests right now with OBS Ninja. And so like normally at this point, even with this same stream that we do right now, with this, I'm normally at least reported in OBS at about 30 to 40% of CPU usage, and my frames per second tends to dip to about 40 to 45. Right now, we are sitting at 15.8% CPU usage and 60 frames per second with no drop. Just steady. Yeah, so learning a lot, right? And this has been quite the journey, and I'm figuring things out. Like, you can't just go in and change your OBS settings without knowing what's going to happen. But this is going to be interesting.
That's some serious diagnostic work there.
It really was. It really is. And so I'm just learning a lot. And I've been having issues too with like my audio through Skype. Sometimes it comes in very garbled when I do a D&D stream on Friday, and it will be very garbled sometimes. And then I just exit and rejoin, and it's worked. So I've eliminated some of the apps on my computer that can control my audio, and to see if that will help fix that. But I'm also going to try OBS Ninja for our D&D streams and see if that helps, because this seems to be doing a lot better. Like, I'm going to bring up Activity Monitor now and see where we're at. Yeah, so OBS is still high. It's using it's like pretty accurate. It's using about 17% of my CPU. But that's it. And I'm not using Skype. Google Chrome Helper is using a little bit, which is to be expected, but it's only like 8%. So with those together, doing pretty good.
Not bad at all.
No, it's not bad at all.
One thing to note about that MKV to MP4 encoding is OBS actually ships with a little utility where you can like mass convert MKV to MP4 files.
I did not know that.
and it's pretty quick. I think the reason it saves these things as MKV is because it's like it's a
Easier
file
encoding.
format that requires less CPU to encode, and it might result in like less compressed file format or larger file sizes. But yeah, OBS gives you a tool to convert these things. I think it's called like Mux MP4 or Mux MKV, or anyway, we can find it later. But yeah, if you're looking for like an easy way to do that doesn't require you to encode on the fly, that's the way to go.
Yeah, and I think that's it. And so what really tipped me off to this was I was doing our D&D stream on Friday, and I saw a message pop up in OBS that I had never seen before. And it said, like, encoder can't keep up something. And I was like,
Oh, wow.
oh, shoot. And that's what sparked me thinking about, like, I had mentioned before that, like, I changed my video encoding, but like I didn't think too much of it, and then that Friday night, that made me say, like, wait a minute, maybe that like literally is the reason why everything has been going to heck. So yeah, and I had never seen that pop up before. Yeah, to heck indeed. Yeah. So that's it, folks. So sorry for that derailment, but there's a 101 on OBS and recording and encoding and the effects that can have on CPU usage. So take that, do what you will with it, tune it out. It's just whatever. I love it.
Very interesting stuff.
So let's see. The Logitech MX Master Mouse. Yeah, you can switch between operating systems. Yeah. Yeah, so I have actually seen that, which is really quick. Now the real question, what is OBS?
Oh, too complicated. We can't can't even get into that.
Real quick rundown, it stands for Open Broadcasting Software, right? I believe is what it is.
Sure.
Yeah. And so
sounds about right.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It is
Orbit broadcasting software.
Yeah.
It's a software specifically designed for this show right here.
That they have rolled it out. Oh, you're trolling. Oh, okay. All right. But regardless, some folks might not know. But that's the app that I am using to organize this layout. That's how our video and audio and Spotify is coming through here. And I've got all the text on the scene. And what you see on Twitch, that is all organized and put together in OBS. And then it is streamed as bits over the wire to Twitch. And that's how y'all get to see our wonderful faces every Monday. So yeah, that's the gist of it. But let's see real quick. So Coffee Code was talking about the MX Master Mouse. I have a Logitech one that's the G305 that is like pretty good at switching between seamlessly. But I did the KVM switch because I will also need to switch over other things, not just my mouse and keyboard. Like I need to do Stream Deck, that needs to switch over, and then I also need to do what else do I need to do? Oh yeah, my camera and stuff. So I need like about 4 or 5 devices all that I can switch over at the drop of a finger onto a button. And so that's and that should work. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be real interesting. I'm interested to get it set up. I already have like a chord jungle behind my computer. So this is really going to force me to like do some quality chord management. But yeah.
Right on. Waleed Gamer X, thank you for the follow. And Doug the Coder, I think we missed this, or I missed it anyway. But thank you guys for the follow. Nice to have you.
Yeah, we love it. Yeah, thanks for joining us. Thanks for hanging out. Okay, so let's get into it, right? Like we've talked a lot about our weekends and streaming woes, but I feel like it's high time. We get into some GraphQL goodness, and I have discovered some real gems this week, at least for me, things that I was unaware of. But we're going to lead off with, big surprise, GraphQL Summit. And so, yeah, GraphQL Summit is coming up real fast, April 7th, and then GraphQL Summit Scale is April 8th. So definitely stay on the lookout for that as well. I'm going to drop this link here in the chat for folks. But yeah, so we've got a really awesome lineup, everything from like team dynamics and culture around GraphQL to working. Actually, a very cool talk by Kyle, who's in chat right now, is going to be talking about, yeah, you should start writing your talk, Kyle. Yeah, it might be the time. Talking about some cool stuff, basically how you can live in the future of your app by taking advantage of your schema and really like being forward thinking. So it's really cool. It's going to be interesting. We have a lot of other good talks from a lot of other folks. We've got Faraz coming to talk about how GraphQL is helping Uber do stuff like server driven UI. So basically able to A/B test or flip out and configure the UI based on information coming out of a GraphQL API. Super freaking cool. And just a lot of other awesome stuff. Oh, one thing that might be interesting to some folks out there, a talk on how to do subscriptions with Federation. What does that story look like?
Mandy's talking about that, right?
Yep. And that is a big one. Really big.
Yeah. We for anybody who's been following the stream, a couple weeks ago, Kurt kind of previewed this when we were going through his website rebuild. And he actually used the same technique that Mandy is going to be, or a similar technique to the one that Mandy's going to be going over in her talk at GraphQL Summit. So you're not going to want to miss that one. I think that's going to be a really interesting talk.
Yep, and we've also got some talks on things like testing Apollo client. What does it look like moving from Redux to Apollo for state management? Just like some all-around good stuff. Any update on Project Constellation? Yeah, so yeah, I mean, updates as in that like the idea of a graph router and what that means and metadata around graphs is something that we are actively working on right now. I'm a headliner. I don't know what that means. You're one of the main talks, but there's like 7 or 8 talks total. So you are technically, all of you are headliners because you all have awesome, important talks. So yes, you're a headliner. But yeah. So, Project Constellation. So for folks who don't know, this was a talk given by Ashi at GraphQL Summit last year, where they covered what the future of GraphQL and Federation looks like and what it might look like to have more information available about a graph to make it possible to join graphs together, but outside of your domain, like your business or personal graph. What would it look like for, a graph to be connected to YouTube's graph and GitHub's graph and other graphs? What would a multiple, graph system look like that? Almost like thinking of like DNS for routing internet traffic, right? Like servers who know where to send this information because it's like a standardized protocol and everyone adheres to it. And if that happens, it enables a lot more interesting things. So definitely something to work on. Yeah, your face is on the internet. It is. Yeah, we're putting you out there. Yeah, I think actually your tweet went out today, right? Did it not? I think so. We'll be dripping out the talks all week. So if you're not following GraphQL Summit on Twitter, I highly recommend doing that. I believe it's literally at GraphQL Summit.
I think you're right.
The handle. Yeah. So
I'll be right back. Just a sec.
Yeah, do your thing. Yeah. Oh, not yet. Yeah. If not, it'll be dropping real soon. But yeah. Yeah, so that's GraphQL Summit in a nutshell. That's Project Constellation in a nutshell, which is evolving really to this idea of like graph routers, right? Like how do you route to different graphs? It's really interesting. And so cool stuff coming. I think there'll be some.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
My alarm was going off in the other room.
I couldn't hear it.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah, couldn't hear it at
Mike,
all.
Man, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Shout out Elgato.
Elgato doing their thing, dude. I ordered the Elgato capture card because the Mac has like real high resolution, so I needed like the 4K one. I was looking at the specs on it. It's like 100 millisecond pass through. That's wild.
What does that mean?
So pass through is like how long it takes them to capture the audio and video and get it into wherever you're putting it, the source. So from it showing up on screen, it'll
got
be
100
maximum
millisecond delay.
100 milliseconds before it shows up in OBS.
Got you.
Yeah.
Cool. That sounds good.
It is good. At like 4K, that's redonkulous.
And Kyle's exposed me for wearing PJs, and yeah, really, I mean, I have no. You're gonna like this. These are the Gatsby Jam Stack PJs.
Yeah.
And you'll see right there, we got some little GraphQL logos.
I love it.
And some, we got a Gatsby logo, React,
nice. Some jam.
Some jam on toast.
Stack. Yeah, no shame. I mean, mine aren't as colorful, but I am really wearing like PJ pants as well. I mean, it's, we're in the middle of a pandemic. What do y'all expect?
Yeah, pandemic pants.
Yeah, but yeah, gotta stay comfy. Stay comfy, folks. I feel like stay thirsty. What is that? Isn't that like a thing? Stay thirsty, my friends.
Yeah, that's
sounds familiar,
that's from an advertisement.
Yeah, yeah. Stay comfy, my friends. Okay. All right. But yeah, so that's GraphQL Summit. Hope that y'all can catch it. Oh, it's free, I should mention. So like you just go register. If you can't make it, I still recommend registering because then we'll email you and let you know when the talks are ready. But yeah. Jean PJs. No hard pants for me. I left hard pants. I no longer support jeans. Although, real quick, tangent, I really don't wear jeans anyway. Like even when I wear pants, I tend to wear joggers. That's just me. But.
Yeah, I don't own jeans.
Yeah.
I have like a pair of pants, like Carhartt pants.
Yeah.
And I have like a pair of these like Lululemon skateboarding pants. Like they're like a pant specifically designed for skateboarding.
That's awesome.
And then I have a pair of these like Nike skateboarding pants as well.
I have those too. I have a pair of Nike skateboarding pants. They're super comfy, very roomy. That's why I like them because they open up wide. Nothing tends to open up wide in the leg, which you need for skateboarding. But yeah, and other activities like having kids when I need to lift my leg over one of my children or something.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Very multi-purpose.
Very multi-purpose. That, and then I just have a bunch of like nice fitting loose joggers. And they're great. So up next we've got I figured it was time to share. It's been out for a couple weeks now. It's been updated quite some time. I already dropped the link, but we got the Fullstack. So also be warned, this one is paid. It's not free. So just FYI, and we are not sponsored by Wes Bos is not a sponsor of this show. It's just a good course. So that's why we are sharing it. But yeah, it's really cool. It takes you through building an online store, which actually opens up like a lot of great use cases, and exposes you to a more, real world example of like building something, advanced patterns with React and GraphQL. I have gone through a decent amount of the course and it's good. I like it. Definitely enjoy it, but you're gonna, work with Next.js, styled components, doing some local state stuff. But then you've also got Apollo client up in here, AO, for doing a lot of the management of your fetching of the datas and whatnot, and also some caching, right? Let's not forget that Apollo client does amazing with caching. So you can actually do a lot of this though with this, and it works really well. So you can also do state management in there. But anyway, it's a
and does that K on the right side stand for Kurt?
It does, because I am really at the core of the course. And it's Wes Bos's course, but it's actually just me telling you how awesome
Kurt
Apollo
as a backend,
is.
yeah.
Kurt as a backend, yeah. I do all the data. I write it down and then I mail it to you.
Wow, it's very secure.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's Keystone.js, which is interesting. So it's a GraphQL server and headless CMS. So that's where the data lives. It's pretty interesting. Keystone is new to me, so I wanted to check it out, and it's a really good course. Yes, the Puppet Master. This is me.
Mhm.
And Wes Bos is like, hi, welcome. Let's learn about Apollo. And I'm like, behind the scenes. But no, it's a good course. You also definitely check it out if you got the Buckaroos. You know, how much is it? I can't remember. Oh, right. So if you do the starter course, which is the first 5 modules, 27 videos, it's $82. The master package is $97, which is very cheap. So $100 for this is a really good price, y'all. It really is. Because look at all the stuff you get. You know, you get all this. So here's the interesting thing. So we're back at my CPU usage has gone up a little bit, and I think that's the heat at this point. So another thing I've been doing is putting the back of my laptop over the edge of my desk so more airflow can get into the vent. And that has also helped. Isn't that wild? Are you getting pixely? I'm going to rainbow puke on you again. There you go. You're better. I rainbow puked on you. You're welcome. I've just imagined, you know that GIF where it's the person puking a rainbow into the other person's face?
Yeah.
That's what I imagine.
I'm glad that that's not a reality.
Yes, that would be rough. Okay. But yeah, so definitely check it out. Worth checking out. The next thing that we have is an open source package. So this one is really cool. And what it is it's open source GraphQL Scalars. If you're not familiar with what a scalar is, you might be and just not realize it. So in GraphQL, when you define a type, you also specify what it is. What like, is it an int or a string or any of the other types, or even a custom type, right? And so like we can have these custom types. Well, you can also create custom scalars outside of the default ones that ship with GraphQL. And so this package has a lot, even a regular expression scalar. That's wild. And so you can see all kind of things: positive int, positive float, phone number, email address, local time, local end time. There's UTC stuff in here, date time, UUID, very common, very, very common. Colors, HSL, HSLA, IP, 4 and 6, ISBN products, JSON web tokens. Don't store your JSON web tokens. MAC, I guess like MAC address, ports, more colors, currencies, all kind of cool stuff. It's very cool.
And these are really handy to use because I mean, on one hand, like it allows you to like normalize the data that you send your clients. So I for example, I use date scalars a lot.
Yes.
Normally, when you pass a date coming from a database through a GraphQL API, that gets serialized as a number, like as a Unix timestamp, and that's fine. But sometimes it's nice to just send back like an ISO date, something that looks like a date, something that's easily parsable by a human without having to run it through like create a new date instance or something out of it just to see what the date is. But on the flip side, this also allows you to do some better like input validation when somebody's if you say that this ID field on a mutation, you're expecting it to be a UUID, you can use a UUID scalar, and if somebody sends you something other than a UUID, that input will fail GraphQL's type checking. So
and it'll tell you
mutation
why.
won't right, and the mutation won't be able to move forward. So it allows you to exit a little earlier and not have to do a lot of this like type checking, type validation stuff in your resolvers. You can just indicate the types you expect in your schema, and let these scalars take care of that.
Do the rest.
Same thing. Like if you want somebody to send an IP address. You can do that. Like this allows you to get very granular about
Yeah.
What types you expect.
Exactly, because what if in the UI it says
fields,
like IP address, but really you're talking about IPv4, but somebody sends an IPv6 address, right? Like that.
Yeah.
That might go through. It's an IP address. They didn't know, and sure, you could be more clear on the UI. This is definitely something you would also want to address every step of the way. Point being, they've got there, and they sent an IPv6. If that's not caught, that could break a lot of stuff for you. You know, that could cause a lot of problems. You know, what if we're talking about IP addresses for your Kate's cluster, and then you upload, I don't know, like a bad IP address, and your whole system comes down. Then what?
Damn. Then you know, feelings are hurt. And
Yeah. People
at
get
the
blamed.
very least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Postmortems are had. It's a lot. No, but all jokes aside, I mean, like, you know, very useful. Use it or don't use it. You know what? We don't care, folks. Actually, we do. We want your lives to be easier. So if you need any of these types, you should definitely consider using it. Next up, we've got something I've never heard of before. tensei.js, which is an open source headless CMS. So I guess you could run it yourself. Like, you need a headless CMS. You don't want to use, you know, Contentful or Sanity or X, Y, or Z, because there's a bunch of them, right? So you could use this one. So let's learn more. What is it? Well, that's a great question. It's elegant, first and foremost. That's the most important thing to take away. It's elegant. It is an open source headless CMS, and it exposes fully customizable GraphQL or REST APIs, which is really cool.
Kind of similar to Keystone, like what we were just touching on a minute ago.
Ghost is another one, another open source headless CMS. So that's great. Yeah, and so then we've got, so we take a look. We're going to create a tensei app, you know, and then we go inside. And so you can see they've got like a lot of these sub packages, and it looks like you start plugging stuff together. So it's got a plugin system here, right? And so they're using the GraphQL plugin. I guess that's how you get your GraphQL API. And I would imagine a lot of this stuff is configurable. Adds the welcome screen to the home route. So you don't even have to have that if you don't want that. But yeah, look, see, adds a GraphQL API. I'm curious to know like what kind of extensibility, and we won't dive too deep into this because not the time nor the place, but, this is pretty neat. I really love this. And, okay, so you can define your types, right? So you have resources, resource types, and I guess it creates those for you on the fly. And then you can give a resource fields. This is a very builder pattern. This is the builder pattern. So like where we have a function and you chain together other functions, and then when all of that like executes at the end, it builds out the final result. If you have ever done any Java, the builder pattern is probably super familiar to you. But yeah, this is definitely the builder pattern at work here. It's pretty neat. And cool. Then yeah, let's see.
And that is like you know, contrary to if we were to look at the Keystone JS pattern, it's more of like an object config pattern for defining your types and stuff, which is similar to the likes of like Sequelize, if you've ever built models in Sequelize.
It's object based mostly. Yep. Yeah, which is interesting. It's an interesting approach, and I wonder why they picked one instead of the other. I wonder if it has anything to do with like lazy evaluation or any of that stuff. I mean, who knows? We're getting into the weeds there, but I do wonder how reasons. They what?
They've got their reasons.
Yeah, they've got their reasons. I'm sure.
Yeah, you know, I think it looks just fine.
Oh, absolutely, no question there that it looks just fine. I would not mind writing this at all. And there's something to be said. An object oriented, there's also composability, but this is nicely composed. Like you could export, because they're just function calls, and we talk about that lazy execution again. Like I could export a function that wraps a decent amount of these fields and like could be reused in certain places. I don't know. Who knows? Whatever you want to do. Do what you want, folks. We're not here to judge you. We're just here to show you
that
what
syntax
what's
up there
available.
is kind of cool. Like they say slug from title.
Oh, that is neat.
So it's like the slug is based on the title, and that's all you need to do to configure it.
That is cool. That is cool.
Yeah.
And then this is what you get here. So then here's the title, and then you can see the slug, which is
the disabled input.
Yeah, what is, and it's a what? It's a pass. What casing is this? Pascal case?
Kebab case?
Kebab case. Thank you. And I thank you. Yeah, so this is tensei. So if you don't want to use a managed headless CMS, but you need one, this could be worth checking out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would still need to like host this somewhere.
Yeah, it needs to be hosted without a doubt. Like you got to be able to host it somewhere. That is for sure. DigitalOcean comes to mind. Heroku.
Yep.
Couple other places.
Render.
Sure. Render. Exactly. Anywhere. Fly.io. Now I've been messing around with. Yeah.
Cool. I haven't checked them out since their pivot. But yeah, look at that. Yeah.
What they used to be, WordPress or something?
Nah, they used to be like not like DNS, but they kind of like were like a proxying like Nginx kind of
interesting
service. And now they're doing like this looks amazing. I love their branding is beautiful.
Oh, for Fly.io?
Well, for Fly, yeah. Let's check it out. See what all the hubbub is about.
Ooh, that is nice. Let me make it bigger for the folks at home. Let's check this out. This is nice. I love gradient text, not gonna lie. Big fan. I like their logo too. It's very cute. But yeah, so you brew install the Fly CTL, and then you go into a folder that has a Docker file, and you do fly deploy. Boop. Although that's not 100% true. It's not like that easy.
It's never that easy.
No, it's kind of
never as easy as what these companies put in their hero image.
So you have to have a Fly app that exists, and then you can have like your fly.toml, and then you can run fly.deploy. Or you could do fly CTL app or init, one of the commands first, and it will set up that for you, and then you can deploy. So you have two options. You can create it through the UI, or you can do that. Oh, you're drifting again. Fixed you. Rainbow Puke. Okay. It's just going to be like a new thing, and I'm totally going to make a chat command for Rainbow Puke if we continue to use this. I'm actually just going to figure out how to stop the problem at the source, but in the meantime. Ooh, worst comes to worst, I'll make my own Chrome extension that just finds the Rainbow Puke button and clicks it like every minute or something like that.
Love
default.
it. Put it on your Streamlabs.
Yeah.
Or on your Stream Deck. Boop.
Yeah. Oh, I could absolutely do that. Absolutely do that. Love it. That's genius. Okay. Yeah, so in beta, they're also working on Postgres clusters, which is interesting because now you can host your apps and your database with Fly. Why ask why? Just use Fly. Something like that. Free marketing. Take it away. But yeah, it's not bad. I'm using this for my federated graph for my website. So I've got two services and the gateway running in Fly.io.
On Fly.
Yeah.
Good to know.
On Fleek. Fleek.io. Is that taken? Dan.com. It's for sale.
Fleek.dev though.
Oh, is that taken? No?
Nope.
You can get Fleek.dev, but Dan, fast and easy domain transfers. If anybody wants to buy Fleek.io, it's only $5,000.
Wow. What a steal.
I'm going to buy it because I'll definitely use this for a project one day.
That doesn't work. I've tried.
That's amazing. No, that does not work. Yeah, I call that domain-driven development. So
Yes.
domain-driven design.
Oh man.
Although, all jokes aside, my whole moniker, the worst dev, did start with a funny domain purchase. I purchased the worst dev as like a joke because I thought it was funny. And then I just had it redirect to my website and everybody was just like, oh, I love it. The worst dev. And it just evolved.
Now you're the worst dev.
Now I'm the worst dev.
That's how it happens. You purchased it into existence.
Yeah. And I feel like there was one more thing I had. Oh, there is. This one. I don't know how that little guy got in there. Whoop. This is a job alert. Job alert. Job alert. So Block Party app, if you're not familiar, Block Party app is an app that lets you do chained blocks. So if you're someone who faces a lot of harassment online on Twitter, and they're working on other platforms, but on Twitter, and you face a lot of harassment, you can block somebody. Like if you're getting a lot of things, and you can block all the people that follow them and the people they follow. It's pretty cool. It's a really good app. Anything around abuse and trust, I am all about. They're looking for a senior engineer, either full stack or with more of a back-end experience, 4 years in the industry, no degree, nothing like that. It's a really awesome group of people. Tracy Cho is the founder of the company, used to work at Facebook and a couple other big places before. Oh, shoot. I transitioned us accidentally. We back.
No problem.
I meant to rainbow puke you and I hit transition. But yeah, so really cool company. They're a small team, very small team, right? So the tech stack is React, Jinja. I don't even know what that is. May refer to, thank you, Grammarly, but no, I don't think that's Jinja Uganda that they're talking about, but that is pretty neat that showed up. And it's served by Python Flask through a GraphQL API. So Python on the back end for the GraphQL API, and React on the client, and Jinja, which now I need to know what Jinja is. It really is a city in Uganda.
What else is it?
So Jinja templating is the Python. So I imagine like the main page is served with Jinja, and then it's React picks up on the client, and it's mainly a React app, but the static parts are Jinja templates from Python. And then you're also working with a GraphQL API served via Python. So that is the job. Yeah, it's not bad.